because the conversation just revolves around the same things: bread, butter, the same routine, the same job, the same problem. There's not any newness, any freshness in life. They start seeing husband as this routine sort of person, and due to this she also starts feeling invisible. Let's say if they have kids and things like that, is this the only point in life? Like, these are subtle things which not a lot of people talk openly about, but I just don't. Genuine needs that a woman has just eventually starts growing. She feels trapped in this cycle of sorts, because you understand, like, for a woman it's just not about that man, it's about the family expectations of her in-laws, the family expectations of her original parents, and what would society say. Women are very conscious about the social respect and how they are perceived in a society from a societal respect point of view, and they also fear that they would be isolated, so they just want to do these flings on the side, cheat without anyone coming to know of it because of these. Yo guys, namaskaram. So in today's video, it's quite interesting. I wanted to talk about a specific individual. He had reached out to me, basically going through divorce and all of that. And the reason for that was cheating. Like, the wife cheated on him, and there were like other things. So I wouldn't want to go into the details until and unless I get permission. But probably I think then there was like a very interesting thing, and I started thinking about it, that why do young wives in particular cheat on husbands? And in this specific case, the age gap was pretty big, you can say 8 to 10 years between that range. So I just wanted to go a little bit deeper on it without, let's say, demeaning this gender is bad, this gender is evil. There can be a lot of sociological, cultural, and psychological reasons, but let's just go in a little bit of depth. And I think my videos are well received among the limited people that it reaches, and that's my aim. I just don't want a mob. I want critical, nuanced thinkers here. If you are interested, so I also have a newsletter running. You can find it in the description of this video or in the about section. That way we can just have a one-on-one connect. If you have problems, you can directly reach out to me via email. I'll just try to solve those problems on a priority basis. So anyhow, coming to this video. So in India, we pretend cheating happens because we like terming that women are bad, that man was earning less. Like, you know, these common scripts that the character of the woman was loose and the man did not earn enough, or the man was not able to satisfy, yada yada. You know all those scripts. But I think the truth is far, far deeper, and not a lot of people come out in the open and talk about it. You see, cheating does not happen randomly. Women don't cheat randomly on one specific day. Let's say whenever you are in a relationship, there's like an emotional thing that is happening long before they cheat physically per se. This video would not be about blaming, but just understanding, because there's no benefit in blaming or shaming people. I think a deeper reason as to why attraction collapses, and that intimacy that we felt towards our partners, let's say towards the start, why does it die? And especially you see that right now the age gap system in marriages is also collapsing. A lot of fears and anxieties exist around it. But anyhow, first of all, we need to understand that why do women enter these age gap, or let's say emotionally unequal marriages wherein they are not very intimate with their older partner. So the number one reason I feel is because we still have this culture of arranged marriages, which prioritize stability more rather than compatibility. A lot of families look at salaries, what type of status he is, unfortunately the caste, what religion he is, and things like that. No one checks on the genuine one-to-one compatibility. And when people are also meeting on a one-on-one level, they're just trying to present their best selves. Young women marry men whom they barely know because of family pressures and things like that. You might be seeing that there's a general pattern that a woman is being married, let's say when she's just out of college or between that age range of 24 to 28, with a man who is somewhat much older than probably 10 years and things like that. She obeys because of family pressures, and there's this subtle connotation that families expect that attraction will happen later, it would grow later. But those of you who are playboys, studs, if I may use the term, or the red pill community, you know that attraction is a very deeper thing. It just does not happen later. It just happens at the start. And a lot of women marry out of fear, not because they genuinely desire that. A lot of women are pushed into this marriage sort of thing because of log kya kahenge, the biological clock ticking, that you should have kids, you're getting older, good boys are finishing, and all of that. You know, like, a lot of fear mongering happens. There's a common fear also that who will take care of you in your old age and things like that. She usually gives in due to the pressure of a family and society and all of that, and she tends to think that she's picking up stability over discarding her emotional needs. This then cultivates into resentment, because right now we are not living in such such a society where there's not a lot of exposure to net. You'll just hardly meet 50, 100 people in life. Like through social media, there's just an abundance of people. And if your woman or your man does not feel attracted to you genuinely, there's a high chance that people would cheat later in life, because there's just no compatibility on which that relationship is established on. And I've also seen that without working on self awareness, a sort of maturity, women also are very eager to enter into marriages, because girls are raised with a lot of overprotection, that you should not go in such places after this time, due to the unfortunate reality of our country, that what might happen if a girl is going on the streets after a particular time. And I've also seen that there are very, very strict families. So I had done a video on daddy issues. Why do women have daddy issues? You can just check that out. But I'll just cover it very briefly, that due to strict parenting, not a lot of parents encourage relationships of their children, of daughters specifically, due to which they are unable to understand their own desires, what type of people they are. Because when one enters a relationship, one gets to know a lot about himself or herself. And whatever these needs are, this emotional needs and whatever other needs there are, they just explode after marriage. A lot of husbands, quote unquote, who are older by their mindset, who are not very keen on just learning and staying with the trends of the date, are unable to match this intensity. Due to which, you see that an outlet is often expressed due to these other routes. I've also seen, because there's this thing of safety. Often, what happens that women marry older men expecting father like emotional safety, that it becomes very hierarchical after a point. You might see that we all just run on scripts that this is how a relationship ought to. So instead of a person who wants to just explore life, what she gets is a person who is just stuck on patterns, a lot of patterns as to this is how it should be, which he has picked up from Bollywood scripts and whatnot. And due to this, because a lot of men are insecure, and probably they know that this marriage, that whatever has happened, is not because of genuine compatibility, he becomes a controlling sort of freak. Because for a lot of these people, unfortunately, they are unable to court or attract any real life women. So that's why they agree to get pushed in these marriages, and a lot of resentment just starts building up silently. All of this just leads to emotional disappointment in the heart, and people start thinking that, is this the only purpose of life? Whatever attraction little there may be, that also starts dying. Now, if I think from a man's perspective, why is he unable to connect emotionally? A lot of us, specifically males, grow up in a time wherein we are not encouraged to educate ourselves from an emotional perspective. A lot of men think that the more we provide, that translates to love, that the more loving we would be perceived. They don't understand the subtle nuances as to what attraction really is, how women generally respect a man, and they are unable to also communicate their needs openly. Whatever feelings they are having, they just dismiss that. Even if the other partner in front of them is expressing genuine needs, they just have this script that she's overreacting, and then they just go into these scripted patterns rather than understanding genuine need. That is why a lot of therapy, marriage counseling, and all of that is also very important, so that people just understand themselves. That's why I say, don't jump into marriages, just be self-aware first and see what type of people you want to bring into life. Due to this, a lot of young wives feel disconnected, and there's also that trend that a lot of these wives eventually go on to cheat up on their partners with, if they join gym and things like that. There's very common pattern of wives cheating on their husbands with the gym trainers, because they want that thrill in life. And in a lot of households, I've seen that men like using authority. Indian men, unfortunately, or I use the term boomer uncles, try to control relationships through authority, more dominance, more rules, less gentle and subtle connection that times a female needs with his man. And a lot of modern women these days rebelled against this, because you have seen how the internet has exploded, and you see that a lot of cases are happening these days. A lot of emotional distance grows. So in no way I'm justifying cheating. I'm just saying that understanding the nuances is very important, so that you just pick up the right people in your life. And what happens when the initial fun dies down? Because a lot of people marry because of the strong need to have S. Because a lot of them are virgins in life, and they have never developed real life skills as to how to court women in general. To the point, things just become complacent. That person generally stops trying, stops expressing affection, because what he really wanted, he already has gotten that. And due to this, we just stop improving ourselves. There should be a polarity of sorts, an opposite polarity, which causes attraction. A lot of boomer uncles just lose that. And due to this, the wives also lose the attraction. Those of you who have dated know that the emotional patterns, the rhythms of females are very varied. One should have a subtle understanding of how these patterns and rhythms work. A lot of mood swings does not mean drama, it just means that the person in front of you needs validation. They don't understand when their partner is processing all these emotions. They just have this like solver mindset that everything would be right instead of genuinely listening to their partners. Now what happens that whenever these wives feel hurt of that relationship with another male, that is why cheating happens, because someone is genuinely listening to them rather than just being this father figure sort of solver person. And a lot of people unfortunately have this thing of not genuinely showing empathy, understanding their partner's point of view. Due to this, women feel unseen. Why this attraction dies? First is, of course, because of the polarity. A lot of older men become father figures, not genuine partners with whom you can enjoy life genuinely. And females also have this thing that they lose that feminine energy because that person is coming with an authority mindset. It just triggers things in that female that she should also present a masculine energy so that she can fight as an equal. And those of you who have dated know that attraction works on a spark. There should be a polarity of sorts. Your woman should genuinely respect you as a man. That magic or chemistry just fades with time. And another thing I've seen is that due to this generational mismatch, let's say mindsets differ, personality differs, communication styles differ, even certain values differ. The way to solve their conflict also differs, and there's just a lot of mess rather than just mutually connecting on an emotional level. Because emotional needs are not being met, younger wives in general feel emotionally starved because the conversation just revolves around the same things, bread, butter, the same routine, the same job, the same problem. There's not any newness, any freshness in life. They start seeing husband as this routine sort of person, and due to this she also starts feeling invisible. Let's say if they have kids and things like that, is this the only point in life? Like, these are subtle things which not a lot of people talk openly about, but I just don't want that you as a man end up in, you are seeing the cases, right, in drums and all of that. It's better to stay alone rather than fighting battles in courts of alimonies and things like that, and becoming a person who brings a genuine compatible person if they want to go in that path of marriage. But anyhow, like, coming back to this point, so since like there's not a lot of effort that is being invested right now in the relationships, the genuine needs that a woman has just eventually starts growing. She feels trapped in this cycle of sorts because you understand, like, for a woman it's just not about that man, it's about the family expectations of her in-laws, the family expectations of her original parents, and what would society say. Women are very conscious about the social respect and how they are perceived in a society from a societal respect point of view, and they also fear that they would be isolated, so they just want to do these flings on the side, cheat without anyone coming to know of it because of these subtle reasons. And then this suffocation of sorts leads to bonding, wherein people are just trying to find partners elsewhere, fulfill their emotional needs and things like that. Why women get attracted to other men? Because those men are genuinely doing things which bring a freshness of sorts in life. She thinks that this person looks interesting, his life looks interesting. Let me just see on it. Let me see how he's living his life. And cheating always starts emotionally through those texts, someone giving you that validation, that attention, that emotional space to listen, someone just listening to you genuinely without any judgment. She feels that sense of aliveness again, and that emotional connection is again being formed. A lot of younger men, because of their need to have this thing that they'll have married women and whatnot, they make that person feel desired. A lot of men give her compliments, a lot of attention, curiosity in her day-to-day life, what her things, interests, hobbies are. A lot of masculine energy which that partner should, that boomer uncle should give to that wife is now being done from this young man to that wife. And because of young man's presence, the wife feels heard, that she feels younger from an emotional perspective, that finally there's someone to bond with. So on her mind, she thinks that there's this husband who is just giving me this stability of sorts, but this other person, this other man is giving me that aliveness which I need in life, that kick in life. And unhealed father wounds, of course, because if you're a broken person with mother wounds, father wounds, and all of that, you'll just pick up those sort of people who are very toxic for you but are emotionally available to you. You would start seeking validation from those warm masculine people of sorts who just give you the space to feel heard. and you repeat those unresolved partners. You know that husband is the safe, stable choice, but he's very cold. He would not make me feel warm, let's say, alive in my life. And a lot of affairs usually happen either in corporate spaces or things like that. And I think the number one reason right now, this institution, this lovely institution of marriage, is just becoming more and more dead, emotionally speaking. Women start cheating because her emotional needs are being met by this person. We can judge she's immoral, she needs more sex, and all of that, but the core reason is if someone is making her feel alive emotionally, she just drifts into that. And we humans are experts at lying ourselves. So you cannot expect honesty from a person whom you have not chosen, whom you have entered into marriage on the wrong center. These decisions and these understandings should happen before marriage. We can talk about all of that, politically correct statements that she's immoral and things like that. But please understand that if as a husband you're not meeting her emotional needs, probably humans are Homo sapiens, aka animals. We just still function to this day from a lot of animalistic patterns. You yourself, you're working in a job, you know that you have to be at the best in a skill set so that that company can keep paying you. It's the simple law of survival of the fittest. That is what she's also doing from an emotional level. We can judge her, but that does not change the fact that she's cheating you, and right now you are standing in that court for alimony cases and things like that. And you know how laws are that in our country men are just suffering a lot silently. So it's better to swallow these hard pills right now. Let's say if you're unmarried, just to be aware, very aware. And if you're in a marriage, if you think you can fix things, please just don't look at it from your ego perspective that how easy talking like this. All these things would just help you. I just don't want you to suffer a lot in courts. You have seen the video of Atul Subhash. You see how much sad he was. There was like genuine depression on his face. But anyhow, coming back to this point. So, why does cheating become inevitable after a time? Is because in these unequal marriages, attraction decays faster. Due to this age gap, there's like a genuine power imbalance, a lot of emotional mismatch. Let's say sometimes people also break marriages on sexual incompatibility and things like that. It's like this marriage with stability without any genuine passion. And husbands often mistake comfort, the stable comfort that they are providing, for genuine connection. Unfortunately, a lot of husbands think that the stable routine is a love sort of thing. Nothing bad with it, but then you have just chosen the wrong partner for you. For a lot of women, which I have seen and studied and observed, they think that this routine equals suffocation. You see, the emotional gap just widens silently, one step at a time. And she then just starts seeking connection outside. The husband just gets to know all of this and a shock is received. But those initial steps when you were emotionally unavailable, when you needed to have those tough conversations, is probably the day you should have had that shocks. And I've also seen that women like preemie sort of people who are emotionally very mature from that perspective. They resent people who don't grow emotionally. Woman keeps on evolving, but the husband just stays stagnant. Eventually, what happens is he matures a lot emotionally. And this is a reality that women always date up. So until and unless she genuinely respects you, which would only happen when she perceives you as a man of value. Let's say you're here and she's here, and then you're just growing at that pace. But what happens, men just stop growing in any facet of life, and attraction genuinely happens when the woman you are with genuinely respects you. There's always that healthy gap, and she just respects you, not from that perspective that you become an a-hole and start dominating her and all of that. Just genuine respect. There's a genuine respect that you do for people whom you admire because of their skill set and their will to consistently grow. So the same thing your woman, your wife is expecting from you. But I don't know why husbands become stagnant. I think we should just challenge more and more if we are entering into this so-called lovely institution of marriage. Else, if you cannot handle all of this, it's better to stay alone. Because of this growing resentment, the woman is growing more and more. This turns into cheating because she feels emotionally detached. So now the most important thing, how as a man you can prevent this. Don't marry a woman until and unless she's genuinely attracted to you, she genuinely respects you. The emotional investment that we are doing for such a long commitment should be a mutual thing. Don't force marriages because you want stability in life, family pressure, and whatnot. And most importantly, please don't think from the anaconda down there. Don't ignore red flags. Just observe that is this the type of person that I really want to bring into my life. Choose a woman who chooses you as her first option. A lot of women have these backup options. Don't be a bloody backup for any person. attraction before marriage matters a lot, because then she would genuinely respect you. You don't want your wife sleeping with someone else and then you are the one paying for all the alimony for the kids that she has had with that other person and things like that. I just want that you, my friend, if you're watching this, don't end up in such situations. Marriage is this thing that we want to marry because of comfort, but we just forget a very important thing, that if there is no heart to heart connect, it doesn't matter what comfort it is. It would just be on the periphery. A genuine connection should happen with that person. A person should genuinely feel attracted to you. Any age gap, if you think that there are like not any coherent values, please just don't go into it. Always keep on growing in your life rather than valuing these so-called traditions and cultures and whatnot, because right now things are changing a lot. This modern marriages that we're having right now, we need people who are emotionally just intelligent or emotionally mature, rather than just following traditions because it worked 50 years back. Right now that's not the case. Stability becomes a prison of sort if there's not any genuine connection, the same way like a woman feels captured in a marriage. I know it's very important to grow financially, but after a point just start working on other things. Grow emotionally as well. Start fixing your being, whatever wounds you might be having. Start going for therapy. Learn how to effectively communicate what hurts you genuinely. Most importantly, just developing a sense of empathy so that you can understand your partner, because all of this just leads to you being more masculine from that perspective, that you'll start respecting yourself. Self-respect is the root of attraction, because if you genuinely respect yourself, you wouldn't simp for any idiot. You would only go for people who are compatible with your values. And I've unfortunately seen like a lot of clients who come to me from relationship perspective, like not married. This is a common pattern that a lot of women cheat on their men when their men stop growing, or they sideline all of their work to just focus on that woman. That should never be the case. Your work, your purpose should always be the priority. That's why I keep on saying that work above everything. Please chase your goals above holes, because then you'll just be a simp. And never ever be complacent in your life. Also, there's a very good thing in the Western world, people whose marriages are very successful, they say that they just keep on dating their wife. They don't treat their wife as wife, but as a genuine girlfriend of sorts, even after marriage, because that keeps that spark alive, and a genuine healthy polarity, let's say, that energies of female and male, a genuine healthy opposite attraction is maintained. Don't be this uncle with this heavy belly. Stay very fit and attractive in your own eyes, and very driven. And please be very sure that what type of people you're bringing in. If you want to get cheated on, keep on simping. But if you genuinely respect that no one should cheat you and all of that, please test all of it rather than just going into this long-term commitment without any forethought behind it. Because growing on a lot of levels is a lifelong journey, and the more you grow, that's the key, the more respect you will have from your other half. A genuine attraction would be maintained. So we can say easily that women are evil and things like that, but just understanding the nuances, the psychological nuances is very important. Of course, I'm not saying that they are like not any narcissists, psychopaths, people who love cheating and all of that. All those types of realities exist. But this is like a general video of sorts, so that you can just get general insights. If you want me to go very specific, do reach out to me with your problems. You can also book a call with me. Just write an email to me. I'll send you the details for it and whatever charges there. Your job as a man is to just genuinely connect with your partner from an emotional level, and choose people and partners who are genuinely attracted to you, and keeping your masculine energy, that edge, alive. If you do all of that and bring the right people, not a lot of affairs would not even begin, because you are the best in our eyes, and that's your job, that you should be the best. So anyhow, let me know what you feel about this video. This video can just help, because not a lot of people talk openly about these things, and probably I just want, here at least, people are very smart and honorable as men. We don't become a-holes. We don't want to date someone else's wives. We don't want to cheat on our partners and things like that. We just want to become genuinely respect-worthy men, people who can just respect our own selves. Do write in the comment section what weaknesses have you broke. Connect with me on my email. You can just subscribe to my newsletter. I'll catch you with some very interesting insights in upcoming videos. Until then, stay awesome and stay safe. Cheers. This is Debu Ki Dastak signing off.